is Natasha D'Souza reporting for SALT Voices, and I'm here at SALT Abu Dhabi on day 2 with Eric Daimler, the CEO and co-founder of Conexus. Thank you for being with us, Eric, and welcome to Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
I believe you just got off a plane last night, all the way from San Francisco.
That's right.
What has your experience been, at SALT and specifically now here in Abu Dhabi?
There's a lot of energy here, and it's really exciting to be part of the conversation just about the future of industry and particularly, how AI can play in the transformation of traditional industries.
Tell me a little bit about, I know you're going to be part of a panel a little later today, where we're going to deep dive a little bit into AI, robotics, and you've done some varied, interesting, hard-hitting work in this space. You were also a fellow looking at AI and robotics as part of the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Take me through, I think, when it comes to nation states and the investment that they're doing into AI, of course, we all know, what China has been up to, more or less what they've been up to. The amount of investment that's gone into AI, I think, exceeds anyone else's investment into the space. How is it that I think countries can find opportunities within AI, I think, to be distinctive on the world's map?
Yeah, well, there's a few things to say about that. So I think first, Kai-Fu Lee, a former colleague of mine, he does a fantastic job of laying out this AI superpower narrative. But where does that leave the rest of the world?
Exactly.
Right. And I think there's a large place to play in the transformation of traditional industries.
Okay.
It's not just about algorithms. It's not just about machine learning. And it's not just about non-machine learning AI. It's about the applications of AI.
Okay.
There's a whole system that is AI that I think people would benefit from using as an interpretation of the implementations of these technologies, which is from the collection of data, the sense, and the sensing could be anything from the sensor on top of your autonomous car to the air quality in this room, and then on to the planning, which would be the storage, the processing, the networking, and then on to the execution, the actual actions to be taken from the analytics and from the processing. From the sense, the plan, and the act, there's a lot to do. It's a full system. And the underappreciated part often is upstream from that analytics, upstream from the prediction quality that the data scientists will often try to supply to businesses.
Okay.
There's a lot to do for the Gulf region in every industry in taking data and then processing that data in a proprietary way.
I was actually just going to come to that because, like you said, there's where does that leave the rest of the world that wants to, harness AI and perhaps do so distinctively? The UAE has a national, AI strategy for 2031, and the UAE likes to do things boldly. They like to be distinctive in whatever they do. Where do you see that opportunity or white space, I think, for the country and its application of AI?
Well, there's a few things. The system that is AI needs to reflect, human values, whatever they are. And I think the UAE can be part of that conversation, can be a leader in that conversation, actually, by having His Excellency Omar be the AI minister, taking a lead in facilitating this conversation. It's not a one-time act to implement or not implement AI. My understanding, even though I've been doing AI for 30 years, is different in 2019, 2020 than it was in 2016. We have to have a certain intellectual modesty about our understanding in 2023 and 2024. The facilitation of that conversation to make sure that AI reflects human values is someplace that His Excellency Omar and the UAE can continue to express leadership.
Okay. And of course, tell me a little bit your thoughts about, obviously, future generations. We all talk about the fact that technology is changing so rapidly. We need to upskill and retrain people currently, within, the labor market. We're also looking about generations ahead, people who are already still in school, in kindergarten. To what extent do we need to start, I think, priming our younger generation to be able to be readily adaptive to a technology like AI?
You said a really perfect frame for that question by saying adaptive. If we start training or saying we're going to retrain, that somehow suggests that even those new skills are fixed. They're not.
Okay.
The degree to which we can teach our children, our young kids, curiosity, if we can teach them flexibility, if we can instill those values even into the conversation that a country can have and use the policies to facilitate that, that's going to be where we can use our energies. A country itself can just be anticipating both the degree of disruption and the degree of uncertainty around this disruption.
Okay.
I can't predict what jobs are going to be available in 2023 any
Right.
more than either of us could have predicted in the year 2000,
Okay.
that in the year 2007 there would have been a job called app developer.
Right. You know, I love that you're
Yeah.
saying this, because there's so many futurists going all around the world telling people what jobs are going to exist in the future. So I
Yeah.
love that you're saying we need to be adaptive. It should matter more how we think, not what to think specifically. That our younger generation should be more thought about curiosity and being adaptive from the get-go.
I can say that there's going to be a new branch of mathematics. So, trigonometry, geometry were very useful for our ancestors that worked on farms or worked with machinery and physical goods. And to some extent, those maths and what leads into calculus can be helpful in these traditional industries, aerospace engineering being one of them. But for a digital era, I would encourage even high school level students to be teaching and learning category theory. That's a mathematics
Okay.
much more appropriate for our digital age.
I am going to look that up after our conversation. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us, Eric. It's
Good
been
to be
wonderful
here.
having you here. Enjoy your time here at SALT Abu Dhabi. Thank you so
Natasha.
much.